Hello, this is Elena with Black Sheep 303 Creative, and this is the third card in my Mother's Day card series, and this time I am featuring a Lavender Ombre glitter effect for a fun purple and yellow card. So to start off with, I have this mini layering stencil from Tim Holtz that is kind of like a roses design on it that I am adhering down to my craft mat and on top of a piece of A2 sized white cardstock with some painter's tape. And now I'm taking my distress inks and squishing them onto my craft mat and then using some Bo Bunny glitter paste in sugar, which is clear, and just blending it into the ink to change the color and then spreading it onto the stencil with my little mini palette knife. And now I'm going to use wilted violet and mix that together and spread that on. And the nice thing is you can kind of blend them together, like kind of squish it together a little bit across each color since it's going from lighter to darker. And then the last color is Dusty Concord. And the glitter paste does lighten up the color of the ink, so just be aware of that. Like as you'll see here, the Dusty Concord, even though that is a darker color than the wilted violet normally, it actually comes out a little bit lighter in the end effect, but that didn't bother me. I thought it was still kind of pretty. Now I did squish my knife accidentally under part of one of the roses, so you'll see that here in a second, but I'm going to cover that up right there in the middle. Cover that up with the greeting later. Now I wanted a couple of little accent flowers, so I grabbed my Lawn Fawn Fab Flowers stamp set, which is one of my recent favorites, and I'm going to stamp this 2 flowers and some leaves using some Gina K Designs ink onto some Nina Solar White cardstock. And I'm using my Misty because I do wind up stamping it multiple times, like I think 3 times total, to get a really solid stamp for that first layer. And then the second layer on the stamp set is a detail layer that I will stamp by hand using a little block. Now I did decide to change my leaves, so I went instead to Electric Lime Ranger ink to do my leaves because it's a lighter color and I wanted kind of a brighter green, so that's what I did there. Now here's the detail layer, and I'm stamping it in a 1 shade darker ink for the yellow flowers as well as the green flowers on both the details on all the leaves. And that's essentially the completed flowers. Are really easy stamps to stamp. They're really fun and super cute. Now to add a little bit of details, I'm adding glossy accents to the centers, and then I'm using my Spectrum Noir markers to go over sort of the little detailed accents on everything to add a little bit of glitter to each of these. I did cut them out with the matching dies. For my greeting, I am going to be stamping Happy Mother's Day from the Lawn Fawn Happy 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 stamp set. I have already stamped Happy here and cut it out with the matching die. That is onto some Gina K Designs Wild Lilac card, and then I'm using grape soda ink as the matching ink to stamp Mother's Day. And here are all of my components to assemble the card. So this little detailed strip comes from this die set, which is called Ribbon Basics from Cherry Lynn Designs. It's really, really cool. It cuts all these different, basically like ribbons. And so then so I cut that one out of the purple, and then I just cut it in half to line each side of that trimmed down glitter panel. And now for my little center strip, I used the dotted scallop rectangles, from Elizabeth Craft Designs dies, and I fit a piece of paper that was slightly smaller. I ran it through on one side, and then I trimmed it down, and I ran it through on the second side to get that like strip with the little scalloped border along the edge. And now on my Mother's Day and my Happy, I did trace over that with my Wink of Stella fine glitter dust purple marker. That is different than the brush markers that you may be familiar with. It's a much thinner point. So I like it for tracing things and adding a little bit of sparkle. Now to adhere these detailed borders down to the edge, I use 3mm clear double-sided adhesive tape from Elizabeth Craft Designs. It's probably my favorite tape, and it's super skinny, so it adhered that tiny strip down very nicely to the back. And now I've got some 10mm tape in the middle of the panel to adhere the entire piece down to the middle of my top folding A2 size card base, which is made from Gina K Designs' lovely lavender cardstock. Now I added some fun foam to the back of my greeting strip here, and I'm adhering that down to the middle, covering up that smushed part that I did with my glitter paste there, so no one will ever know. And now I'm just adhering my Happy down using my Zig 2-way glue pen. And I'll just adhere this down nicely right above the Mother's Day for a cute greeting. And then I'm going to add those flowers as accents on either side. I'm kind of obsessed recently with purple and yellow color scheme. That is a complementary color scheme on the color wheel, if you are familiar with the color wheel at all. So it is one of my favorites, and I've been doing that a lot lately. So hopefully you can bear with me on that. But I thought it was kind of a different color scheme for a Mother's Day card. You know, normally you see pinks or, you know, pastels, but I liked the idea of doing like a lavender, like a pale purple card. I thought that was sort of fun. And of course, adding the extra glitter made it very fun and feminine. Now, to adhere this little flower accent down, I am using a combination of the 3mm adhesive tape and some fun foam, or little foam dots, foam tape, to keep it, you know, on the same level so the leaves don't get squished off the side there, since it is hanging off the edge of the greeting strip there. And then on the other side, I will wind up using just adhesive tape. And that is the completed project. I'm just going to stick down that corner a little bit with some Zig 2A glue. And you can see how glittery that glitter paste is. It is super sparkly. Like, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but in person it is really, really sparkly and very pretty. So that is the completed project. And there you can kind of get a close-up on the glitter. Pretty fun. And I did turn the leaves on the flowers, or the petals on the flowers, just a little bit around a paintbrush, just to give it a little extra dimension. So hopefully I've given you a little inspiration today for how to make a fun, glittery Mother's Day card. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate it. As always, there is a supply list linked in the video description below and over on my blog. If you liked the video, I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, I would even love it more if you'd subscribe. Here are 2 more projects in my Mother's Day card series for 2017. So you can click on either one of those if you are interested. Thank you so much and have a great day.